Hello, everyone. I am Mike with Disaster Central, and I am joined here today with um, Deer Lover, Liam, Quantum Pilot, Liam, and David.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be working graphics. My team will be taking over commentary for the day. So just understand that.
All right. So to begin with, there was a so there is a moderate risk today for Oklahoma and Texas, North Oklahoma, and I think it actually became mainly North Texas, and only just a little bit of South Oklahoma. But there's a risk for some tornadoes, wind gusts exceeding 100 miles per hour, and very large hail up to apple size slash DVD sized. And along with this, the NWS has issued a PDS Severe Thunderstorm Watch. One was issued a few hours ago, and then the most recent one was issued for northeastern Texas, for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And yeah, that's basically the main risk. Those are the main risk areas, just along those areas. So yeah. Right now there are some storms that are approaching Dallas Fort Worth, and they currently look a little bit messy, but they are still expected to conjoin and then bow out possibly and become a derecho. So yeah, these storms are still dangerous, and even as they are now, and very severe thunderstorm gusts are still expected, regardless of their appearance.
And I
So
do I do want to point out the biggest threat. So on our Torpot scale, eventually you get the graphic popping up, but the biggest threat today will be the wind threat. And as some of the graphics already pointed out, if you're living in Dallas or if you're in Fort Worth, um, you could see winds of up to 80 to 100 miles per hour in some of these areas, and some of those gusts could be higher than that. So understand that you need a brace for power outages and wind damage in the area. If you recall last year, back in May, May 16th, there was a derecho that hit Houston, and that caused a lot of damage, significant power outages. So, Texas, this is not your first rodeo with derechos, but understand that the threat here is very prolific. Last year we were at an enhanced risk. This year we're at a moderate risk, which means that we're even more confident that this will happen. So, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Fort Worth, or really anywhere within the moderate risk zone, um, understand that the predominant risk is going to be wind and hail. Now, let's switch back to the main graphics here, where you can see uh, what our risk is. So we have a moderate as of the 3 p.m. update from the Storm Prediction Center. Our tornadic or tornadic potentiality scale is at a 2 out of 10, which means that there's a 20% chance to see tornadoes within a 50-mile radius of a given area. The biggest threats here are going to be wind, which for whatever reason says 15. It's actually 45%. So understand that. So let me fix that while we're at it. And our hail threat is 30% significant, which means that it is, again, there is a very significant possibility where we see winds that are greater than 80 miles per hour anywhere within the enhanced risks. So, yeah, Mike, take it over.
um, sorry, I had to deafen just to check on the live stream's audio quality. Um, the PDS Severe Thunderstorm Watch that was issued for northeastern Texas, that includes the population that will face this severe weather threat. It includes up to or exceeding 10 million people. So quite a lot of people are in this watch and could face a very powerful system potentially.
Um,
Um, Reed already reported damage in where was it located? Like Rotan, I think it was Rotan, Texas. Yeah, there was damage east of Rotan, Texas, and it is what I believe to be a mobile home that I believe straight line winds rolled and destroyed it completely. So yeah, Reed is already reporting damage from the storms that aren't even super close to Dallas yet. So um,
yeah, and
it's pretty bad.
let's quickly talk about the graphics. So let's talk about the locations that could be impacted. Arlington, you're in that moderate risk. The timing between will be from now until Sunday night, probably around 11 to 12 in the morning for you because you're farther north. Fort Worth, the timing here will be again between now and Sunday night. This will probably be by midnight. Um, Midnight to 1 or 2 in the morning on Monday, early Monday morning. The significant threats here will be wind and hail, winds of 80 to 100 miles per hour. Dallas, you're another huge threat. Um, Timing again will probably be from now, where you have to be weather aware, till early Monday morning, probably to your commute hours. Threats again will be wind and hail. The winds will be probably 80 to 100 miles per hour, according to the Storm Prediction Center. Let's talk about Woodwork, Oklahoma. You are in the moderate risk as well. Winds of 80 to 100 miles per hour possible. Wind and hail will be your big threats, and this will go from now until midnight. These are the moment for you to be weather aware throughout this time. Abilene, you are, I believe, in the enhanced risk. This is going to go from now to probably around 5 to 6 in the morning tomorrow. The big threats here will be hail and winds of 60 to 80 mile per hour with some of these storms associated with will be a definite possibility. Norman, Oklahoma, again, same thing for you. You're under the moderate risk, enhanced risk for severe weather. So you're at a 3 out of 5. Your big threat, again, will be hail and winds could reach their 60 to 80 miles per hour with any given storm. So be weather aware. Amarillo, Texas, you're in the enhanced risk as well. Threat will again proceed from around now to early Monday morning again. You still have those leftover showers from those storms that popped up earlier this afternoon. Winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour. Lubbock, from now will be from your timing will be from now to Monday morning. Threats again will be hail and wind, probably towards your commute hour. Winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour will be likely with these storms. And of course, many other areas to talk about. I'm sure that everybody here is aware of what is going on. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, send them in the chat. We'll be able to answer your questions. If not, then we'll continue with our coverage. Let's talk about the radar, Mike.
Yeah, so the radar models were expecting these storms to have already converged and we're already expecting the system to be bowing out. Right now, that isn't so much the case. The storms are still pretty messy, and there are segments where they aren't really that converged. However, the storms are still dangerous and are still packing winds of up to 90 to 100 miles per hour in some parts. So this is still a dangerous system regardless. And of course, since the storms are not converged, there is more of a tornado risk as well, which is another thing that people should be watching out for. There has already been a wind gust reported that was 100 miles per hour in a location. I forgot which location it was, but 100 miles per hour have been measured by Messonet about 20 minutes ago near Gorey, Texas. So there's already wind speeds that are 100 miles per hour at least in one section of those storms. So yeah, pretty dangerous system.
Yeah, and looking at radar right now, you're looking at your live shot. This is radar from Dyes, Texas. This is the AFB KDYX radar. If you're going to track with us, I mean, you can see here pretty well developed storms. They're not necessarily bowing out, which is the classic shape for a derecho, but there are tons of severe thunderstorm warnings. We already had a report earlier today of a funnel by Clinton Vesey. He was reporting weak ground circulation under a rotating wall cloud 3 miles west of Anson, Texas. So this is Anson over here for you. The threat was probably by the interstate going towards Guthrie. Looking further towards the east, towards the Dallas radar, you can see we have a couple of tornado warnings in effect up in northern Oklahoma, and we can check on that soon once the radar loads. But you can see here, lots of reds, lots of purples being seen on the radar. Going over to velocity, there's rotation here, probably by Colbert, and there's another area of circulation in between Calera and Durant. So if you are anywhere within these tornado warnings, remember, these type of derechos had the tendency to produce quick spin-up tornadoes, and those can eventually be the big threat. But in this case, the environment is not pronounced for tornadoes. A quick spin-up will probably be the biggest thing we see in terms of the tornadic threat as itself. Back to the reflectivity radar, and you can see just reports. This is from Alexander Shell about 40 minutes ago. Penny-sized hail heading east and southeast. And then you can see Davis Harmon, Tornado Hunter, reporting that there was a well-defined rotating wall cloud just 8 miles off of Enos, Oklahoma. And these cells are just heading straight south, southeast. So again, Dallas, I would say get ready because these storms will be coming towards you in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how fast these storms keep going. But that's pretty much what we're tracking right now. If we go a little bit south near Shreveport, that Shreveport radar, there's a huge thunderstorm that's just been popping off. This is by the Arklatex area, and it's just been producing hail. We know from spotters here in Marshall that this storm has had a history of producing winds of up to 70 miles per hour. Jefferson, you're up next. Marshall, Scottsville, Lee, Karnak, Uncertain, Mooringsport, Blanchard, Greenwood, and eventually Shreveport. You will be hit by these storms eventually. They're going towards a more southeastern direction. I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service decides to extend these warnings more southeasterly. So be on the lookout for that. And let's go back to the Dallas radar. Is there anything new, Mike?
There was a what do you call it? A PDS severe thunderstorm warning that included Throckmorton, Texas, Woodson, Texas, and Elbert, Texas until 10 p.m. CDT. The storm contains 90 mile per hour winds and ping pong sized hail. The one thing I forgot to mention was that a lot of these storms might contain, or I did say that they would contain large hail. But the one thing I forgot to mention was the fact that the wind-driven hail will pose a significant threat to life and property. Wind-driven hail, especially at speeds such as 90 or 100 miles per hour, they will severely damage homes. They will take off the siding. They will completely blow into through your window and into your house. And if you're caught outside, they will leave significant welts on your skin, and if they're large enough, maybe even break your bone. So I would advise, if you're in these storms, to not be caught outside in those winds and that hail.
Yeah, and another threat with this entire system is the flash flooding threat. We've already had reports of that near the Panhandle of Texas. This is from Nick Kiesel about a few hours ago. They were reporting fast-moving floodwaters covering County Road just off of Highway 60. Water at least 6 to 8 inches deep and is quickly flowing. This is near Amarillo. Let's look at the radar back here. See if we can find anything here. And it could possibly, see if it loads. It's downloading. But based on what we're being told, so there's not many storms here yet. The second round will be coming in shortly. There's these area of thunderstorms that are coming off from Canyon all the way up to Logan, New Mexico. They're heading more towards a more northeasterly direction. This is with an area of low pressure, and in case you don't know what an area of low pressure is, it's pretty much, think of it like a spinning system of thunderstorms, and these storms tend to spin and go in different directions the closer they are to the system. Um, so looking at here, we in Amarillo, we have reports from Brandon Weldon, reporting here that there was penny-sized hail, and then a few minutes later, Nick Kessel was reporting flash flood warnings and flood waters. There's a flash flood warning in effect for. Apologies for that. There's a flash flood warning in effect for Hall County until 9. Sorry, looking for what time this expires. Flash flood, yeah, sorry. Flash flood warning in effect for the next 25 minutes. Rainfall rate about half an inch to about an inch an hour, and additional rainfall rates of about another half an inch to an inch and a half are possible within the warned area. And this are because these storms that keep pushing up, they're very slow, and there's just a constant flow of thunderstorms within that area. So, be advised with this system. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of threats. Again, the biggest threat, obviously, for today will be the straight line damaging gust threats. But remember, flash flooding is a big thing, and some of these areas have already been constantly getting hit by storms. If you recall, we had 3 straight days of enhanced risks and slight risk within this exact area. So they don't need the rain. The rain has already dropped. We've already had about 5 to 6 inches of rain generally for the northern parts of Texas. This is already probably dropping another 2 to 3 inches, and as we've seen here in near Amarillo, 6 to 8 inches. So almost a foot of rain has dropped today. So this is a huge flash flooding threat, especially the more northernly you go. Back down here in Dallas, you're looking here, and it looks like these storms are really they're getting their acts together. Let's switch back to the KDYX radar if you're tracking this with us. This is the DICE Texas radar. This is by Albany and Breckenridge, Texas, near Abilene. And you can see these storms looking a bit more pronounced as the time goes. Yeah, and that's all I can really say about these storms. Mike, anything else?
Yeah, there are currently some tornado warnings in Oklahoma too. They don't look particularly well right now, but I think that's just because they're not in a good radar area. But yeah, it's possible that they might be on the ground, and obviously, if they are on the ground, you should go into your basement if you have one, or if not, go into the innermost room of your home without a window, and lay down in if it's a bathroom, lay down in the tub. If it's like a closet or something in a bedroom, go into the closet. But just an innermost room with no walls facing the outside would be most recommended for tornadoes. And honestly, I would recommend that for the derecho too, for the straight line winds as well. Innermost room with no windows. I would recommend that too for the straight line wind threat too. So.
Hold on.
All right. So, some people might not know what a derecho is. So I know Houston. David said that Houston got hit with one last year. Basically, what a derecho is a long-lasting severe thunderstorm that produces very extreme winds on the ground. It's it's not a very typical severe thunderstorm that most people have faced before. Not the usual like 60 or 70 mile per hour winds. These winds can go in excess of 90, 100 miles per hour. Some derechos have had wind gusts that went even well beyond 100 into the 120, 130, 140 range. So they are very dangerous. They are comparable to hurricane force wind gusts. And obviously, very dangerous to be outside during one of these in a vehicle, and also dangerous to be inside of your home as well during one of these. They can definitely blow trees over. I've seen a lot of derechos blow trees over, and they come crashing through the home, through the roof. And for vehicles, if you're like in a big truck or something, um, the large surface area of trucks, they get very easily blown over in these kinds of winds, especially if you're in a car too. It's just a very dangerous system to be outside for, and uh, to be inside of your home, it's also dangerous there too. So obviously, not a good situation, especially for an area that has, 10 million people. Not very good at all. One thing I did want to mention really quickly, if it'll let me, the one of the one of the um, accounts that I follow, they talk about the sounding, so like the atmospheric environment for the atmosphere above Dallas Fort Worth right now, and they talk about Cape that is exceeding uh, 1,500. That supports strong downdrafts, elongated autographs with a southeasterly moving complex. Um, very dangerous environment that is very capable of producing strong downbursts, strong winds at the surface that will be very damaging and possibly spin up tornadoes as well. Um, yeah, and so basically it's a very dangerous situation all around, and everyone who is in the area needs to be aware of what's coming.
Right. Thank you, Mike. This is what we know so far about what this event contains. This entire system is a very major threat to life and property. Winds previously today have already been reported of up to 90 miles per hour, and this came back in Amarillo in Oklahoma by the Panhandle. The Storm Prediction Center says that tornadoes will not be the biggest threat, so do not worry about the tornado threat. And we also know that major winds of up to 100 miles per hour are possible, especially if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's what we know so far. Hopefully, I'll be pulling more information as time continues. Um, but yeah, that's all we know so far. We do not know of any fatalities that have been confirmed through this system, through this storm in general. So yeah, that's what we know so far. Mike, continue while I transition.
I did see one video from Facebook that of one of the storms that passed by today so far, and it did show very strong, severe wind gusts, and I would say ping pong, or even tennis ball size hail. And it was a very crazy video. There was foliage coming down, branches coming down, so a very dangerous situation for life and property. Um, so far, there hasn't been many reports. I did say that Reed did have I think he said it was a modular home that was destroyed. He said possibly by a tornado, but wasn't really confirmed. It could be a tornado, could be straight line winds. But regardless, yeah, this system is going to be pretty impactful. Um, right now, from what I'm seeing, the um the line of storms is like fractured in the middle. It seems to be one is bowing out. One is bowing out, separate from the other one. The other one isn't bowing out. The other one to the north is bowing out. And it may be possible, although the southern side of the northern one is starting to grow more, but it may be possible that maybe Dallas won't be as impacted as previously thought. But that's just wishful thinking as of right now. Think I think eventually these storms might grow more and become more of a threat for Dallas. It's hard to tell as of right now whether or not it'll miss Dallas and Fort Worth, but maybe it's a good sign. I don't know. Um, I did also see for some of the other storms that there was hail. At one point, one of the storms did have hail that was DVD sized, so That's the risk. The watch that was issued by the NWS is coming true because they did say that hail between 3 to 5 inches, and I believe 5 inches is DVD sized, if I'm remembering correctly. So, so far the threat is materializing as they had warned. Um, yeah.
Uh, Breaking news. This is not related to the system at all, but we can now confirm, according to the National Hurricane Center, that tropical storm, um, what was it? What's its name? Tropical storm Cosme has formed off the Gulf or off the coast of Mexico, right next to Barbara. Currently, winds of 45 miles per hour and a sustained pressure so as far as what I can tell. Trying to pull up the graphic for you or the information for you, just for me to report on. Uh, Sorry. We know that Cosme has winds of 45 miles per hour, sustained pressure of 999 millibars. It is not expected to go to land, but this now is historical because in the meteorological aspect, this is the first time that the Eastern Pacific produces more storms, or 3 storms, before the Westpac. So very rare this has formed. That's all I have to report on for now. Mike, you can take over again. Sorry for that.
Um, I do want to report that there is a storm. There is there are storms northeast of Abilene right now that have wind gusts at what's the word? Um, above ground, way above ground. There are winds that are like 85 miles per hour. So it's kind of hard to know what they are at the surface, but um this just goes to show that there are, very strong winds happening as of right now, and they are approaching Albany, which looks to be a sizable town. So obviously, um, people there need to be in shelter right now. Um, Also, talking about the the two parts of the system that I talked about a little bit earlier. Um, if they do end up merging near the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, they will they could increase the wind threat. So if they merge before going over the Dallas Fort Worth area, that would be apparently a bad situation. Um, but yeah, just goes to show that people need to be weather aware of what's going to happen. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So there was a PDS severe thunderstorm watch issued for Northeast Texas. I said that before, but it's worth mentioning again. There was a PDS severe thunderstorm watch issued in Northeast Texas for 10 million people, over 10 million people. That mentions the possibility of a few tornadoes, scattered hail up to apple size likely, and widespread wind gusts of up to 100 miles per hour. There was also another PDS severe thunderstorm watch that was issued earlier for around the Panhandle area slash southwestern Oklahoma, that mentioned widespread damaging winds up to 105 miles per hour likely, widespread large hail likely with isolated very large hail events to up to 5 inches in diameter possible, and a few tornadoes likely. And that included actually, I can't find. Oh, here we go. It included 1.2 million people. So yeah, over 10 million people are contained within these watches. It's a pretty bad situation. It will be very, very impactful, to say the least.
And and the Storm Prediction Center did warn earlier that this was a quote particularly dangerous situation with these watches, and for good reason. Again, it doesn't even matter if these storms perform because already, ultimately, this storm in general has the system as a whole has performed for the last 4 days. Um, Unfortunately, I do want to say though that whilst the Storm Prediction Center says that this is a particularly dangerous situation, there are more events that are ongoing. Uh, Sorry. I do want to say that there are more events that are ongoing. Apart from that, there are tornado warnings that are in effect, I believe, still for a few locations in Oklahoma now heading towards the border of Texas. See if I can switch to those.
I do want to say there is a building in where was this located? Big Spring, Texas. There is a hotel, quite a tall hotel there in downtown that has windows that are shattered uh, all across the facade of the building. Um, I'm not sure if it's from the hail or if it's from the wind or a combination of both. Actually, it looks like it is a combination of both. Looks like the hail was up to um, ping pong ball size, so that could definitely that's like the starting area of when hail starts to cause damage. So, and especially if it's driven by winds that are 80 plus miles per hour, I'm not surprised. Actually, wow, there's a house here that has its siding completely shredded. Yeah, this was a pretty bad storm. Even the cars have damage. Yeah, power poles knocked over. Actually lots of buildings without windows. Um, wow, this city got hit pretty hard earlier, a little bit earlier, and that's what's coming towards the east.
For those that are tuning in, we are tracking multiple areas of severe weather in a major uh, wind event that is expected for portions of Texas and Oklahoma. Right now, we're already tracking major winds that have already struck northern Texas and northern Oklahoma that are heading straight south. And as you can see through our graphics, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Abilene, Arlington, you are next, and you are going to be hit by these thunderstorms. So, already 10 million people under severe thunderstorm watches altogether for and a particularly dangerous severe thunderstorm watch. This is the highest form of a watch you can receive. And we do have breaking news. We have a confirmed tornado that is on the ground.
Oh,
Breaking news: tornado warning in effect for Central Bryan County. Weather spotters confirmed tornado. See if I can pull up a closer view uh, of it. No, I cannot. The radar is very bumpy here, but this will be in effect about until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so in about what 20, 35 minutes. Uh, Looking at velocity, you can see there is an area of rotation. This is just north of uh, Akil, heading straight towards Albany, Oklahoma. So if you are in this tornado warning, you need to get to shelter um, immediately. Uh, this is a very life-threatening situation. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Um, Sorry, Mike, can you take this over? I'm doing a graphic.
yeah. So I did see pictures while I was scrolling through Facebook, and the hail. It's kind of hard to tell the scale of the hail in this picture, but it seems to be I believe it is softball size hail, south of Claude, Texas, by this chaser. So yeah, already, like I said, very large hail already having fallen, and that is though that system is heading east, and will hit the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex too. So um, very dangerous situation.
And I just want to quickly talk about this tornado warning in effect. There's a confirmed tornado warning in Oklahoma. This is in central Bryan County in Oklahoma. What is going on here? Oh, sorry. Central Bryan County in Oklahoma. Area of rotation there. Looking at velocity, there's not much of a CC drop unless maybe a CC drop heading south towards Albany. Maybe not. That might be contamination. But looking at velocity there, you can see where that cell is at, that tornado is at. There could be also another area of rotation spinning up just south of Akil, heading towards Hendricks and Kemp. So if you are watching anywhere within that area, please take to shelter. Get to shelter. So understand that. We're also tracking again multiple areas of systems. There's also another tornado warning just north of that. This is near Bochito, and this is for Atoka and Bryan counties in Oklahoma. This is not radar confirmed, but this is a radar indicated supercell that is on the ground. So there it is, folks. I think this is one of the first confirmed tornado warnings of the day that we're tracking. And of course, we'll be here to cover it all if we have to. Keeping an eye back on the thunderstorm complex just towards the south of this tornado warning area, and just a lot of storms popping up. There's a huge convection near Fruitland. See, this is they're expecting winds of 65 miles per hour. Here, down here south near Decatur, 70 miles per hour. So these storms are picking up pace. You will see that a lot with these type of thunderstorms. Just be prepared. Eventually, if we do need to report on anything, we'll continue to report it here. And yeah, so that's what we know so far. Let's go back over the timing of things. Today is a moderate risk for severe weather, which means that we're at a 4 out of 5. Our TORPOT, our own tornadic potentiality scale, is at a 2 out of 10 or 20% chance for tornadoes within a 50-mile radius of a given spot. We're giving this, and the Storm Prediction Center is giving a 45% significant chance for winds of up to 80 to 100 miles per hour. So that is referring to this is referring to the Storm Prediction Center's highest possible outlook. So this is the second highest. The next highest would be 60%. And then for hail, we're looking at a 30% chance, which is the third highest percentage chance in terms of hail threats combined. And who joined? Oh, that was Quantum. So we're here. We're joined by Quantum.
Good evening.
What do you think about the situation?
It's certainly very interesting, possibly dangerous. I've just been looking at the radar recently. Some interesting areas. I also notice there's a bit of confusion going on in my brain because we have an Albany in Oklahoma and an Albany in Texas.
Yeah, I mean that's American city names for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm writing headlines. So yeah, we're looking at multiple things. Looking down here at Albany, Texas, you are getting the brunt of this storm. Let's download that radar here. This is the KDYX radar if you're tracking it with us. This is the Abilene radar basically. This is close to Abilene. But looking at Albany, once the radar loads, you can see here that you're getting the brunt of it. You're starting to get hit by this severe thunderstorm. And looking at velocity, you can see that huge inflow boundary that's going straight towards the radar. That's a classic signature of just how fast these winds are moving. And looking down south here, this is pretty much surrounding this is pretty much pushing towards the radar at a significant rate. Albany, I wouldn't be surprised if we see power outages, to be honest, in these areas because, I mean, given how fast these storms are moving, the wind surely must be extremely violent for these type of storms to push up. And let's look at one of the severe thunderstorm warnings, and they are expecting winds of 80 miles per hour. So this is a destructive storm warning, a PDS severe thunderstorm warning, in effect for Albany and Abilene, Texas. This is heading straight south towards Bayard and Putnam and Clyde, as well as Moran. Those areas will be seeing major winds of up to 80 miles per hour, which had been in the forecast previously for these type of storms. And that's what we can report on right now. We're going to take a quick break. Stand by. We're just going to be playing in some music and in the radar. Stay tuned. David Vela reporting in from Houston, Texas, coming in on the air to give you live coverage on what is this massive Derecho threat that is expected for the Dallas Metroplex. Good afternoon to all. My name is David Vela reporting in from Houston, Texas, doing it solo for now, joined by Mike and Deer Lover. But Mike is gone, and I think Deer is taking care of stuff. So it'll be just me for now. Let's quickly talk about what we need to know. Major storm complexes moving south. We have two really that are moving south. One by Albany, which is what we've been keeping an eye on for the last 20 minutes. These storms just keep pushing on. Looking at velocity, you can see just how big the winds are, how fast the winds are. Sorry, and this is near Breckenridge, so places like Breckenridge, you are getting hit, or you're starting to get hit. Putnam, Eastland, Cisco, Ranger, Carbon, Gorman, Rising Star, De Leon, Dublin, Stephenville, Abilene, you're getting hit by the edge of it. But yeah, these areas will be getting hit next. Gordon, Strawn, Palo Pinto, Mineral Wells, Cool, Millsap. Those areas will be getting hit soon by these thunderstorms. And these thunderstorms do carry a punch. The latest warning, winds of 60 miles per hour, 1-inch hail. So these storms do pack a bunch. Going back up north towards the Dallas Metro, and we do have a confirmed tornado still on the ground. But there are no other tornado warnings. There's just one that we're keeping an eye on as well. We're also looking at the Dallas Metro because they are already getting severe thunderstorm warnings. If you're in Frisco and Hebron, Shefton, Plano, Murphy, Parker, Frisco, Little Elm, those areas, you've just been warned by the National Weather Service. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail are possible with these storms, and you can see why. Let's pull up the satellite presentation. We have a new tornado warning. Looking at velocity, here's the rotation. This is near just north of Dorchester. This is heading towards the southeast, at about, I would say, 40 miles per hour. The threat is tornado, and this is radar indicated at the time, and you can see why. Looking at correlation coefficient, not much CC there. Areas impacted will probably be Dorchester, Howie, Luella, and Tom Bean. That's all we know. Up here, we have a tornado warning in effect. Confirmed tornado just near Albany and Achille. These areas, this rotation is near Achille, but I don't see any correlation coefficient. It could be on the ground. It could very well be on the ground. But just looking on radar, it doesn't seem to be on the ground. Stay in your shelter, guys, because we don't know if this storm will produce or not. So back down here, probably the area that will produce the most, the biggest tornado threat is down here. New radar scan is out, and it looks like it is beginning to intensify. Looking at CC, not much of a correlation yet, but that could change. And looking at that, you can see why they've issued these huge thunderstorm warnings boxes that cover 3 counties, because these storm complexes are huge. They are massive, and more likely than not will continue to produce huge wind gusts. Dallas, Fort Worth, the Fort Worth areas are about to get hit. Denton, you're the first. Denton, Point Pilot, Aubrey, Krugerville, you're going to be some of the first ones to get hit by the thunderstorm complex. And it's heading quite quickly south. I think these storms are traveling at 40 to 45 miles per hour. So these are fast-moving thunderstorms, folks. Do not underestimate what these storms can do with winds. Straight-line damaging wind gusts are often a bigger threat than tornadoes themselves, and they can often produce more damage than tornadoes themselves. So just keep an eye out for that. Yeah, that's what we know so far. Hoping for one of our contributors to get back to help me with this. But this is the wide view of Texas overall. Let's zoom in just over the wide picture. And that's what you need to pay attention to. This huge area of thunderstorms that just keep moving. You have wall clouds here, multiple reports of wall clouds. But let's keep an eye out on here. Velocity, new latest tracker. Oh, that's why it just got warned. Yeah, looks like we probably do have a tornado there, and it's probably heading towards Ton Bean. If you are watching within the tornado warning, please head to shelter. These storms do have a history and probably will produce more history of severe thunderstorms. So sound is low quality. Please turn up the volume. Sorry about that, Cindy. Hopefully you can hear me now. I'm a bit far away from the mic. Hopefully this is better. Yeah, I'm still testing with the new mic and streaming and all that. Let's quickly turn you back to our secondary feed. And you can see here, this is more of a better picture of what you can see on the severe outbreak side of things. On the top, this is what we know, which is that there's a 20% chance of tornadoes forming within a 50-mile radius of a given point. There's a 45% chance for significant hail gusts of up to 80 to 100 miles per hour, and there's a 30% chance for significant hailstones of up to 2+ inches. And we've already had that verified because somewhere I think Reed Timmer was reporting on apple-sized hail already have fallen down in these areas. So guess much better. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry about that. Let's keep tracking this because this looks like this could be our next tornadic producer, and we might have a little bit of a correlation coefficient drop. See if we can verify that. Maybe this scan's a bit off. Maybe not. We have to keep an eye on that. But one of you remind me to keep an eye on the storm velocity track, please and thank you. Sorry about that. So, how has y'all's Sunday been? Hopefully that. Okay. Sorry, I'm working on moving the graphic. Sorry for the stall time. I'm waiting for team members to get here. So yeah, areas like Dallas, Arlington, Fort Worth, Plano, these areas will probably get hit by the brunt of these storm systems. Major threats include damaging straight line winds and hail as primary source threats. Let's play a loop of the radar while we wait. And winds of up to 100 miles per hour are expected in some of these areas. And there's a major severe weather outbreak expected for Texas and Oklahoma. So keep an eye out on that, folks. And for those who don't watch our channel all the time, we don't just cover severe weather. We cover hurricanes. We're historically known. We're famous for our earthquake coverage streams and volcanic coverage streams. So, yeah, if you are interested in coverage with these quality graphics, because we just introduced these graphics earlier this week after a huge major rebrand or graphics package back in April. How do you guys like these graphics, by the way? These are the first time I'm testing. This is the first time I'm testing these graphics on the PC. Um, so let me know how you guys feel about the graphics. And yeah, we can get this party started. Let's see. I don't know if I don't know why my stream isn't loading on my phone. I'm trying to see what is going on. So yeah, just a lot of stuff going on in general. Let me play some background music. I don't want to make things a bit too awkward here. There we go. Let's drop that back down here. All right. And I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave it here like that, and we'll just talk. Storms just continuing. Overall message of the day. Key messages for the day. Major severe storms likely forming in a very big pocket of area. Very big pocket of Texas. And temperatures and dew points are not making this any better for people here. This is actually going to probably induce these storms to continue moving towards the area. And here's a temperature reading. 68 degrees in June. So, yeah. Let me bring you back up.
Do I sound perfectly fine?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Okay. Because I moved into the basement so I can be able to talk. But just wanted to check how the Wi-Fi was doing.
Right, yeah, that's fine. Someone let me know. Someone in the chat let me know how these graphics look like. For those of you who are new to this stream or to this channel, my graphics team, which includes yours truly, Mike and Deer, we've been working very hard over the past year to bring up some good graphics for y'all. And you can go back through our previous streams and you can see how our graphics have transformed over the past year. And you'll be able to see that. So Mike, any new updates in regards to the system?
It looks like there has been a severe thunderstorm warning issued for Plano, Texas, McKinney, Texas, and Frisco, Texas until 10:30 p.m. CDT for a destructive storm that will contain wind gusts of up to 80 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail. This warning includes 1.8 million people.
Yeah, so again, folks, this is no joke. If you're in Dallas, if you know anybody in Dallas, make sure you let them know. Hey, you guys are about to get hit by a huge storm. Please be weather aware, and please stay tuned to your local authorities, local media sources, or heck, if you run out of power, you can tune to us, tune in on us, and we'll be able to give you that coverage that you need to stay safe for the weather. Because obviously this is a huge threat, as you can see here on the top screen of your graphic. This is a moderate risk, and although the tornado threat isn't necessarily pronounced as it normally is for these type of events, the wind threat is huge. 45% chance for winds of 80 to 100 miles per hour, and a 30% chance for hail of up to 2 inches in diameter or greater. And we've already seen that report. I think someone was talking about hail of up to 4-inch hail, apple-sized hail. So understand that, like, folks, this is no joke. This is real, and we want you to stay safe in times of weather like this. So, yeah, stay tuned and keep weather aware, keep weather wise. As soon as those warnings come out, we'll let you know. Just keeping an eye on Dallas and Fort Worth. It's not very clear. There's some shatters up here near Pelican Bay, Asley. That's just northwestern Fort Worth. But apart from that, it's this big, huge. Whoa, sorry about that. It's this huge system just north, near just north. That's gonna be either the make or break for this event. Mike, any analysis on the storms?
Yes, the southern portion of the system, it looks like the chance of 85 to 90 mile per hour winds has lowered significantly, and that the main concern for that southern section will be 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts at this time, but that the storms may reorganize and intensify again after this outflow boundary pulls away, and I don't think it's quite the end yet for these storms. So that's for the southern portion. The northern portion still has that risk of 80 plus mile per hour winds, as I told you. So.
Mm-hmm. And folks, hopefully Mike will be able to bring it up to the chat. But make sure you follow our Twitter and social media for post information. In case we can't go live. If you can pull up the Twitter link and send it on the chat or link it in the stream, that would be greatly appreciated, Mike.
Yes.
Make sure you follow our Twitter. We're active there. We're posting daily updates, or at least we try to post daily updates on systems. So far, we've posted a lot. We track earthquakes. On there, we tracked earthquakes. We're tracking Tropical Storm Barbara, and the newly formed Tropical Storm. Well, what's the name? Cosme. Cosme. Yes. Tropical Storm Cosme. Winds of 45 miles per hour, sustained pressure of 999 millibars. Tropical Storm Barbara, winds of 65 miles per hour, sustained pressure of 995 millibars. And those are the active. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, did you see Cindy's comment about the sound quality being low?
Yeah, I fixed that earlier. It
Okay,
was just
all right.
my quality was too quiet.
All right. I did also see something that I wanted to say. The northern MCS has been upgraded to 90 mile per hour wind gusts as it moves towards Dallas Fort Worth. So that looks like unfortunately.
Is it the one by Frisco? Is it the one in Frisco or the one by Greenville?
It didn't specify. I think it said like overall, but I don't. It didn't really specify.
Oh, was it the warning or was it a mesoscale?
Just for the whole like MCS.
Okay. Yeah, so mesoscale. Analysis.
But for that northern portion, not the southern portion. The southern portion is weaker.
Yeah, this is the one by Albany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that one we've been keeping an eye out on for a bit, and honestly, I'm gonna be really honest. I think the southern extent of the Fort Worth cells seem to be weakening, honestly. But it's the one by Watson. It looks like is it just me or does it look like it's starting to bow?
Near where?
The one by like northeastern Dallas, so like west of Frisco and west of Hebron.
Yeah. It looks like it may be bowing.
It looks like
it may be bowing out.
It's starting to accelerate in speed so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, I mean, this is what we've been fearing. We were hoping that it would turn out to be like the southern extent where, I mean, the storms are still strong, but they're not producing 80, 90 mile per hour wind gusts. It looks like, I mean, if our eyes are telling us something, if our eyes are saying something, it looks like perhaps this storm might actually start bowing. And if you don't know what bowing means, in a derecho, when a storm is bowing, it means that it's starting to accelerate in speed and those winds are starting to pick up. So that's not a good
And
thing.
and it's also bulging outwards. It's like the main characteristic of the system bowing out is like it bulges outward.
Yeah, and Mike, you missed this, but we believe, at least from what I was tracking earlier, it looks like we may have had a tornado on the ground for a bit near Dorchester, um, crossing near an interstate. There was very good rotation on it previous scans, and it's fallen off. So, folks, these are the type of quick spin ups that can produce heavy damage. So please be on the lookout. If you're under a tornado warning, get to shelter immediately. And we're still looking at tornado warnings. Let me pull my window up for warnings. Tornado warning in effect for Bryan County. This is going to be expiring in 2 minutes, so don't worry about that. Tornado warning in effect for Fannin, Texas, until 10:30 p.m. Tornado warning in effect for Grayson County, Texas, until 10:15 p.m. And tornado warning in effect for Bryan County, the original tornado warning, which is the southern extent of the tornado warning that will expire in about 2 minutes. That's all the tornado warnings we know. I think in total this has about 100,000 people that are under all tornado warnings combined. After this, we'll probably drop it down to 60, 50,000 people in total. So, yeah, keep an eye out on this. We have over 10 million Americans that are under particularly dangerous situation, tornado, severe thunderstorm watches. PDS means particularly dangerous situation. PDS is the highest form of watch that you can get, and that means that severe conditions are likely. So please be on the lookout for that. I think this is starting to echo or hook or bow.
Bow out.
Yeah, bow out. I think this is starting to bow out. And if you're in McKinney, Frisco, Fairview, Lowry, Farmsville, Greenville, Nevada, Cato Mills, Cache, Lone Oak, get to your safe spot right now. Folks, straight line damaging winds often produce more damage than tornadoes themselves. Over half of all the severe weather reports throughout an average year are from severe winds. So please, folks, pay attention to your local warnings. If you fall under a severe thunderstorm warning, get to your safe spot immediately, please. This is no joke, folks. No joke.
Oh wow, that rotation, that tornado warning near Ravenna and Bonham,
Mm-hmm.
that has very tight rotation on it right now,
This
and that is the tornado warned one.
Yeah, so this is the tornado warning that we've been tracking for about an hour now in Oklahoma by Bryan County. Those expired. See, there's a correlation coefficient drop on there. Not yet. It could be coming soon, but not yet. There is no CC drop, which pretty much what a correlation coefficient drop is when the radar is detecting unnatural things. So things like trees, debris, people's homes being picked up. So that's normally a confirmation that the tornado is on the ground. Sometimes, you don't necessarily need to have a CC drop just for it to be on the ground. So just keep in mind they probably will upgrade this to a radar confirmed, but just pay attention to this storm, and we'll continue to pay attention to the storm, obviously for obvious reasons. Keeping an eye out on here, I think, this is starting to echo or bob out. Yeah, there's the southern extent is starting to rotate, or counterclock rotate, which is typically a sign that a curve is starting to form. And I think we have no need tornado warning. But expect these storms to get hit soon. If you are in Frisco, you are about 5 minutes away from getting hit. Get to your safe spot. Hebron, the Colony, Shepton, Plano. Get to your safe spot immediately. Hebron,
I will say Sorry, I will say that sirens are going off according to an eyewitness. In Plano, sirens are going off right now.
All right. Well, talk really quickly. Let me write that headline.
Um, let's see what else. There was already to the northwest in near Denton, there was a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust. Um, but 80 miles per hour are being observed near Plano. So if you're in that location, you should be inside, particularly away from windows in an innermost room, so you avoid getting hit with glass shards in case a window breaks or if a tree comes down. Um, I would say a lot of injuries from winds and even from tornadoes. A lot of injuries are from people who are either like on the outside on their front porch or looking through a window and recording. Guys, you don't want to you just don't want to do that. Like if your window breaks and sprays you with glass, like it's just awful. You don't want to get sprayed with glass, and if you're outside, you can have like a tree fall on you. It's better to be inside. At least that way, your house may be able to take some of that impact in case a tree comes crashing down or something like that. So it's obviously better to be in a house in an innermost room. Um, I would say within a closet or within a bathroom, something like that, and just lay down and wait for the storm to pass, basically. And that I would apply that to tornadoes as well as straight line winds. So that's something that you should do for tornadoes as well. Um,
Mike, looks like you got some fans.
what do you mean?
Again, they can look at the comments.
Let's see.
Oh, that's loud. Sorry about that, folks.
Thank you, and the creator. Thank you so much for your support. um,
Um,
let's see here.
There's been multiple reports of wall clouds, just not necessarily touching down. And that's why the Torpot scale, our disaster central exclusive Torpot scale, is very low. For at least very low in terms of how normally these events would go. If this was a normal Derecho event, the tornado threat would probably be a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 50 to 60% chance for a tornado within a 50-mile radius of any given point. But the problem is that these storms are not touching down. Okay, we're not going to let that slide. These storms are not touching down. Or these tornadoes are not touching down, which is a good thing. Because that puts the fire rescuers, who eventually will have to go to these areas to fix with damage, not worry about the fact that there's a tornado that is on the ground and they have to brace for the impact, and then once the tornado comes through, they have to deal with more damage. So this is a good thing that the tornadoes are not dropping. It's quite frankly a miracle that the tornadoes are not touching down and that the risk is as low as it is.
I will say that rotation near Bonham looked pretty, or it looks pretty decent. I think maybe a tornado could be on the ground, maybe on that rotation, but it's really hard to tell because it's in an area of the radar that is not. It's like in a very what's the word? A very weak part of the radar, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell whether it's on the ground or not, especially with the correlation coefficient. It's hard to tell. And usually in this part of the radar, when a strong tornado is on the ground, the only way you really even know, apart from the rotation, is like a huge CC drop. But that's only for like really, really, really damaging tornadoes that loft a ton of debris. When you have like spin ups that are related to derechos and squall lines that quickly touch down and don't do a lot of damage, it's hard to tell based on correlation coefficient alone in this part of the radar. So it's hard to tell whether one is on the ground right now or not.
Yeah, and This is hour 1 of coverage, I think. We've been live for an hour and 20. We're going to keep going live for another hour, then take a quick break, and then go live for another hour. Yeah, things are looking well. For the team, sorry. Things are looking pretty bad for us. For y'all. For the people. Oh my god, I don't know. Oh my god, yo. It's going on a blooper reel. Someone clip that for me. Things are looking pretty bad in terms of... Actually, no. Things are not necessarily as escalated as it was forecasted to be so far. And hopefully it stays that way. But, I mean, talking about the hooking part, I don't think this storm is starting to bow echo as much because it's getting hit by that convergence band by the storms near Denton. That could just be me, but I don't see this hooking or echoing out.
Bowing out, yeah.
Unless, I don't see it. I don't see it happening soon. Dallas, you're about to get hit. I wish I had a live cam feed of Dallas, but that's for another day.
I could bring that up if you would like.
Yeah, but I would have to do graphics for it. Not worth it right now.
Okay.
That'd be way too much work, and then just not for now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring that up. We'll bring that graphic up soon. I'll work on it after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but make sure you follow our Twitter at Disaster Central. I know that it's not the exact same spelling as our channel name. Someone already took that name. Very mad at him. But yeah. Disaster Central with an E. Troll with an E. And yeah. We do a lot of updates on there. A lot of earthquake graphics that you normally don't see on stream. So yeah, we do a lot of graphics. We're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and yeah. So Mike, how's your day?
Pretty good. How was yours?
Good. It's been all right.
That's good.
Let's see what's going on with the southern extent. Flash flood warning now in effect for the entire county of Ruby County? Or Fisher County, yeah. 1 to 3.
Sorry, I wanted to say a train spotter reported a thunderstorm wind gust of 65 miles per hour in northwest Dallas near Flower Mound and Louisville. 2 miles east-southeast of Highland Village, Denton, Texas. So 65 miles per hour. That's a low-end severe thunderstorm gust, but obviously that's just one part. It can definitely be stronger in areas that are further to the east, so I wouldn't take this lightly, just in case.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Yeah, hold on. Oh my god, hold on. I'm sharing the stream out really quickly to someone who wants to watch it, but couldn't get access to it.
Yeah, it looks like those 80-mile-per-hour winds are now moving, are at high end, at its highest 80-mile-per-hour winds moving through northern Dallas-Fort Worth. So far I haven't seen much on Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's quite quiet for other reasons that are not weather related. If you know, you know. But let's go back to the Dallas radar, the KFWS radar, for those who are tracking this with us. And for those who don't know what's going on, or for those who are tuning in, we are tracking multiple areas of thunderstorms that are forming, and a big 4 out of 5 risk in effect for a majority of Texas, northern Texas, sorry. And these will be the same system that brings flooding rain threats towards southeast Texas and Louisiana. And let me quickly switch the radar just so I can draw on it, just to show you what I'm talking about. So give me a few minutes to switch the radar. And, whoa. Okay. So let me quickly.
I do want to say real quick, the southern part of the storm system seems to be falling apart, and that is because the outflow boundary is rushing away quickly from these storms. And the reason why this is important is because an outflow boundary provides a force of lifting for storms. And so if that rushes away from the storms, they no longer have a very good source of lifting, and warm, moist air can no longer go from the, it can no longer drift into the updraft from the inflow. So that weakens the storms out. So obviously that is why that southern end of the storm system will be weaker than the one further to the east, near the one that's impacting Dallas, Fort Worth right now. The storms are basically getting cut off from that good cause of I don't know how to word it. It's getting cut off from that good force of lifting.
Yeah,
what I
so
wanted to say.
the mechanic pretty much. The reason why these storms aren't necessarily performing the way that they are is because of inhibiting factors in the atmosphere, notably forcing, which pretty much lifts the storms to, intensify rapidly and move quickly. And that's not what we're seeing. So let's quickly talk about what the future of the system looks like. The flood threat. So let me quickly change out all the warnings. Take the warnings, take the storm tracks out, take the MPing reports. And here we are, it's quiet. So, and let me quickly change the... Oh my god, I'm like lagging bad. Yo. Okay, here we go. Radar brightness,
Basically,
50%.
Basically, the one thing you need to know is that thunderstorms, they need warm, moist air to constantly flow in from the inflow that it draws in into the updraft. That warm, moist air needs to continuously feed the thunderstorm. And if it has that, if that source for that lifting of the air into the thunderstorm, if that gets cut off, then it's going to weaken. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah, so let me quickly draw out what we're talking about. So right now you're looking at the front of what things look like. You have this area of low pressure system, which is highlighted by the L, and then you have the front waves, which is pretty much the direction that the storms are going into. And please excuse my poor drawing. I'm a weather guy, not a painter. So pretty much what today looks like is these storms just keep bringing on, and let me quickly pause the music. These storms, they're pushing towards the southeasterly direction, which means that eventually, as time continues, the next areas to pay attention to will be areas like Houston, New Orleans, Jackson, Montgomery, Mobile, the Panhandle of Florida. But the reason why these storms are such a big threat is because, and the reason why the storms will be a huge flooding threat is because below that, and let me zoom out. I'm drawing, sorry. Because below that, right, there's this huge high pressure system that's pretty much blocking where the storms go. And with this low pressure system over here, it's a big L. With this low pressure system over here and this huge high pressure system over here, this storm will have no other direction but to bring the rainfall here. So that's why if you're watching from places like Houston, New Orleans, Montgomery, you're going to see huge moisture pressures, huge moisture from the Gulf pull up, giving this area tons of rain, and areas up here will be sunny and clear. If you're watching in Dallas, I mean, you're the first people to get hit. If you're watching in Houston, and believe me, I'm a Houstonian. If you're looking at the weather, you're seeing the next week it's going to be raining every day. Why? Because this area of low pressure just can't move out because of the high pressure that's just blocking the area for it to move. In addition to that, there's an area of high pressure up in Mexico, which is why northern Mexico has been going through a drought recently. So really, it has no other way to move but to slowly kind of move more towards the easterly direction and not southeast. The fronts, they'll move south. The rain will move south. But with that convergence band, and with that moisture feeding up the Gulf, feeding up from the Gulf, you're gonna be in a position where eventually, the storm systems, it dumps heavy rain, and dumps lots of flooding rain. So let's go over to Central Texas and see what the forecast could look like, and go a little bit more in depth for the people watching in Texas, and we'll go around, but pretty much what things look like. Obviously, Dallas is getting hit right now. Louisiana is getting hit. Really, the reason why Houston is seeing so much rain this week is because of the moisture. And when this system, when the front pushes through south, it's going to inhibit huge areas of rain. Excuse my handwriting. Rain and more rain throughout the area. So probably what I would say is areas that I've circled here, huge threat for flooding. Now, areas I circle like here, huge severe threat. So I would keep an eye out for severe weather. And yeah, that's what things look like in southeast Texas and in southwest Louisiana. This is very reminiscent of the pattern we had back in June of 2018, where tropical downpours just kept falling, and Houston saw a foot of rain in a week. A lot of flooding happened in 2018. This was between, June 15th through the 18th, or through the 23rd of June, back in 2018. And the same reason was because we had an area of low pressure system up here, covered by a high pressure system over there, and a high pressure system all the way over there. So
I do want to say a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for downtown Dallas, downstream of the storm, for 65 to 70 mile per hour winds. Honestly, based on their warning, it doesn't seem like what I thought would be one of the worst case scenarios will actually come to fruition, because they said in their PDS watch that winds would be around 100 miles per hour. So having them at around 65 to 70 is not as bad as it seemed to be at first. So that's pretty good news, honestly. However, these winds can still bring down trees and can knock out power. So obviously it's not something to completely cheer at. It's just that at least the impact will not be as great as it was thought out to be at first.
Yeah. So there it is. There's the warning, and you can see, looking at radar, this doesn't look like it's convecting very much. Actually, it looks like the convection might be dying out. And quite honestly, if you're watching from anywhere in Texas, this is a really good thing, because now let me go back to the drawing map. Your favorite drawer back at it. Let's go back to the map, and let's quickly draw things out. So the parameters have changed, right? So fix this right there. The parameters have changed quite significantly. So obviously there's two scenarios. Let's go back to Dallas. So the scenario that we're looking at here right now is what was probably going to happen. The worst case scenario was the reason why the moderate risk was called in the first place. But pretty much what we're seeing, let me get an in-depth look of Dallas. So let's switch it back. So here's Dallas. So pretty much what we're seeing, right? So let's draw like a little thunderstorm. This is what things look like right now. So let's write storm. Really, the area that's most important for derechos is this front extent. So the area that I'm drawing on right now and filling it in, this is very, very important. So there's two scenarios. Or really three. The main scenario that we're seeing right now is where this system is kind of not necessarily producing super strong hooking. So you can clearly see that the attempt of the hook is there, but there's not necessarily
Bowing.
There's not necessarily a bowing effect. You can see a little bit of that curvature in the storm, but what you would typically see, for example, if something was heading towards that direction, would be something like this, where it kind of looked like a horseshoe. Why did I just draw my mouse while I'm using my touchpad? So you kind of, for derechos, you kind of want this area to look a bit empty with the remains. And this would be the main with the brunt winds. But really, right now, what we're seeing is more of a balanced neutral curvature, which is typical with a lot of low pressure systems. Very minute curvature. You can see a little bit of the like degree angle there. It's not necessarily impressive, but it's a good thing for us. So it's not bad. And so that's all you really need to know about this. I don't know why my stream is just not performing. On my phone. My phone is just giving me a black screen. Whatever. Can you see the stream fine?
Let me check.
Oh, never mind. I can see it. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what you're seeing. And normally, and for the worst case, the best case scenario would be a messy blob, where it's not really curving, but it's more like a big blob of like typical thunderstorms, with maybe the intense part being the first 20 miles of the extending lead. And as soon as this pushes down south, it would be a quick burst. The biggest threat would probably be portions seeing microbursts. And what a microburst is pretty much, think of it like a run of storm. So there it is. Here's some convection. Here's some convection. And then here's huge, super, super big convection. I sound like a little kid saying that. That big blob there that's circulated and it's actually drawn, that'd be a microburst. And that's when it's a huge sudden drop of wind, hail, rain, and those are the microbursts that produce tons of flooding. And I bet you that the reason why Amarillo saw a ton of flooding today is because I think there was a microburst that hit there a couple of hours ago, and with that onslaught of rain that just came coming, we saw that. We saw what we saw. And so let's go back to the flooding forecast. So we've already talked about Southeast Texas. Models have been hinting at 3 to 5 inches. Some models have been going up to 8. So if there is a flash flood emergency that needs to be called for a major metropolitan area, then we'll go live for it, and we'll keep an eye on it for you. Let's talk about Alabama, eastern Louisiana, and the Pensacola area, or Tallahassee area. So let's talk about this area. Again, main contributors, moisture coming from the Gulf, and this area of high pressure that's just off the coast of the Carolinas. The reason why that invest did not form in the North Atlantic, which was close to the Carolinas, was because that high pressure was pushing itself towards land, and it caused the storm to disintegrate. So
Emergency management reports thunderstorm wind damage along US 82 and Highway 78 and Highway 121, east of Sherman, near Bonham, Texas. I believe near the border with Oklahoma. So, yes, the system is causing is still causing damage, no matter if it is on the slightly weaker end or not. It's still causing damage.
Yeah. Um. Hold on.
A lot of people are saying that the line will will intensify once it gets past Dallas and Fort Worth.
I personally
But
disagree with that. The best ingredients were probably at the best ingredients were probably just north. What hindered it was probably the forcing and the shear. Shear kept twisting around, so that's probably what forced it to do it in the first place. Um, there's more moisture down south, granted. I just don't think that the forcing will be better down south. But we'll just have to wait and see. We're heading towards that time in about 2 minutes. We'll take a quick 5-minute break to give our commentators enough time to rest. And yeah, let's quickly switch back to that radar. And folks, let me know you guys are liking the graphics. I keep saying this a lot, but boy oh boy, we're spending a lot of time on graphics, and it would be appreciated if we got any constructive feedback on the storm progression. Yeah. We're going to be back for live coverage continuing until 11:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time once these storms get south of Dallas. So yeah, we'll speak soon. Stay tuned.
Yeah, see ya.
Let me put on the music. Good afternoon. This is a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela, reporting in from Houston, Texas. We're here covering the last 30 minutes of our live coverage on what is now looks like the best case scenario for this Derecho event, which was an underperforming Derecho event. We're looking at radar. You can see pretty much what we're talking about. There is not much convection popping up in these cells, except for a few occasional purples. Not the typical derecho convection bandfluence that things are looking like. It is definitely echoing or bowing out, but it is definitely not producing or performing the way that it was forecasted, and that's a very good thing. I'm very glad that's happening. I think everybody here is glad that's happening. My name is David Vela, reporting in. I'm joined by, that was my pre-monologue. I'm joined by Deer and Mike. How are we doing? And I think, yeah, okay. Yeah, and in terms of forecasting long range, models have this dissipating by probably the commute hours tomorrow morning from like 4 to 6 a.m., the commuting hours for workers. And this will already by then be down towards Crockett, Nacogdoches, Center, what is the city name? San Augustine, Palestine, Carthage, Henderson, around that area. It will already have been there. But yeah, things should be looking calm, except for the occasional thunderstorms with rain, a lot of rain, and more rain. The severe threat will probably be gone by tomorrow. And that's a very good thing. We really desperately need that severe threat to go away. So, mm-hmm. And here's the big picture. You can see on the blue line. If you're wondering what the blue line is, it's mesoscale discussion. I think the mesoscale discussion is just about concerning a severe thunderstorm watch. Widespread severe winds are expected across northern. I can't even see the rest of the text message, bro. Northern Texas growing MCS. So yeah, things are looking like the best case scenario. This stream will end at 11:10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And until the next stream, make sure you follow us on Twitter, where we keep track of everything through our posts, through our social media teams, and hopefully we're able to branch out towards our other social media branches. Oh, Mike, I don't know if you can pull up the Instagram, the Disaster Central Instagram account, but make sure you follow our Instagram account. We're not necessarily as active on there, but we do post a lot of precautionary precautions and explanations on what to do, how to prepare for events, and stuff like that. So make sure you follow our Instagram. Mike will be posting that on the YouTube chat as well and on the link below. Um, so make sure you're following our Instagram. Those are the two social media platforms that we're on, but we don't go live on. And then YouTube is our main social media platform where we do go live on, report on what we need to do. So on what we do report. So make sure you're following us on those social media accounts. And yeah, that's all I have to say right now. What? Yeah, Beard. We've already seen that. Right. Um, so we have a few more minutes left. Anybody want to give their closing thoughts? I mean, we still have a bit of a time, but all right, bro. You've been muted,
Yeah,
bro. Oh my god. Yo.
me, me.
Yes. No. Okay, repeat the information you were just talking about.
All right, so the western edge of the storm system is has fractured into multiple discrete slash semi-discrete cells, and I was just saying that could there be a potential tornado threat on those storms? Possibly, maybe a quick spin up, but probably won't be much for the foreseeable future because the outflow boundary has rushed ahead of these storms and there is no more good source of lift for the warm air to power these storms. So as a result, these storms will probably weaken. And could there be another like spin up tornado on it? Maybe, but the major threat. Any major threat for tornadoes is not looking likely from these storms, so nothing except flash flooding is like the serious risk for these storms, so that's good. And then the eastern part of the system looks like it will start to weaken. Looks like convection is already even waning on it, so yeah, looks like the storm's risk overall has diminished, except for some remaining possibly damaging wind gusts and some flash flooding. But that's about it, really, for uh, tonight's risk, honestly. So that's good.
All right, now we can say closing thoughts. Mike, go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, just make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We all try very hard, our hardest, to bring you up-to-date coverage on the latest disasters, and try to keep people safe. Um, our severe weather live streams don't do as well as some of our other ones, but we still try our hardest to deliver no matter how it performs. So make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, follow Disaster Central on Twitter and Instagram, and yeah, stay tuned for future live streams.
I mean, guys.
Whether that be for severe weather, earthquakes, wildfires, etc., etc. So yeah.
You guys. I mean, look at the graphics that we're providing you. I mean, get a load of this guy. But in all seriousness, though, I do want to quickly talk about what happened the last month. We've been gone. Hey guys, we're back. A lot of stuff happened with a lot of our team members, including myself. I've been quite busy, as you can ask. I'm sure you can ask Mike about it. We've been quite busy. We've been working extremely hard behind the scenes, though, giving you the best possible coverage we can produce, and the best possible video that we can not video, but best possible overall streaming quality that we can produce. So, obviously we apologize for the lackluster amount of coverage over the last month. We can tell you that hopefully after today, for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna probably start trying to push out more content and more streaming hours. I would probably expect, if you're a viewer, I would probably expect severe weather coverage. Probably, I don't know if we have an enhanced risk anytime soon, or a moderate risk soon, or really a big threat for severe weather soon. But as Mike said, we've been working extremely hard. I mean, guys, look at the graphics we're doing. I keep bringing that up, but yeah. Again, but seriously though, thank you so much for watching. It's honestly an honor, a pleasure to work with y'all, provide y'all the best information we can produce, and I'm sure it's the same for Mike. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I think it's Disaster Hub, or Disaster Disaster Hub. Make sure you subscribe to him. He posts a lot of footage of disasters, really good content, and yeah. Hopefully, when the next disaster strikes, we'll be here to provide for you. And remember, it's on our saying, it's our slogan down there. Remember that whether we're taking you to it or getting you through it, ultimately it's ultimately your choice to trust in us. We provide, we serve, and we report, and that's what our mission has been. That's what it is, and that's what it will always be. So without further ado, this has been a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela, reporting in from Houston, Texas. Joined by Mike and Deer, and we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Good night.
Take care. Good night, guys. Good night.